Today, Twitch made a move that is likely to affect streamers in a huge way. And whether you're a fan of Rust, CSGO, or an org, this likely is going to have some impact. What I'm talking about is today Twitch made it explicitly clear that skin gambling promotions are not allowed on Twitch. But this doesn't necessarily mean that anything's going to change. So what sparked the flurry of news regarding skin gambling was Twitch updated their prohibited gambling content FAQ. So basically, there's one thing at the bottom of the FAQ that says, is sponsorship of skin gambling, such as for CSGO skins, allowed on Twitch? And their answer, no. Promotion or sponsorships of skins gambling is prohibited under our policy. So right there, they just said that all skin gambling, whether it's CSGO, Rust, Team Fortress 2, or a variety of other games, is banned under the TOS of Twitch. They did not say that they updated the terms of service. They didn't say that anything's actually changed with the terms of service. They updated the FAQ to explicitly state that skins gambling is not allowed. They use CSGO as an example because CSGO skins tend to be the skins that are talked about the most when you talk about skin gambling. This does not mean that only CSGO skin gambling promotions are banned. What it means is that skin gambling promotions and sponsorships in general have just been banned blanket across Twitch. And Twitch has made it explicitly clear, which means that they likely will start targeting streamers who continue on with these sponsorships. The reason that this is such big news is because if you've been following anything with CSGO skin gambling, you know that recently a YouTuber named I don't know how to pronounce his name, I apologize, but he made a video about skin gambling. It's a series of videos. There's 3 parts. 2 parts have been out. I've watched the whole series. It's really good. It's really informative. It really sort of brings a lot of light to just how baked into gaming skins gambling has become and skin gambling promotions have become. And basically 75% of CSGO streamers are sponsored by a skin gambling website. Now, if you can't tell by the footage that you're watching, I am not a CSGO streamer. I'm not a CSGO person in general. My game of choice tends to be Rust. And if you've watched any Rust YouTube videos or a lot of Rust streamers, you know that a lot of Rust content is sponsored by skin gambling websites. So this is going to have a huge effect on the Rust community because what this means is a lot of streamers are now out of the job or they've got to risk their whole livelihood to try and keep things going. It doesn't end there. It gets even worse because if you're a streamer and you pick the wrong server, a server that has skin gambling advertisements on it, there is a chance that Twitch could ban you for that. They ban skin gambling promotions, and these servers are promoting skin gambling. So if you jump onto one of these servers and an advertisement pops up, what does that mean for you? In fact, what does it mean for people that are into esports? Can you still watch an esport on Twitch if there are skin gambling sponsorship adverts in the background? I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. Now, hopefully they're not going to go that deep into the weeds because you could really see some crazy bans for that. That said, though, Twitch has done that in the past. Now, circling back to my point where I said some creators might be out of a job, but what I mean by this is that skin gambling sponsorships pay a lot more than any other type of sponsorships. In fact, in my experience, the only sponsorships that have come close to what a skin gambling sponsorship offers are crypto sponsorships. So back in 2020, I had a few crypto videos pop off and I got some offers for crypto sponsorships. Those offers tend to be very big. Now, on average, a channel like mine, which is fairly small, I'd say, in the grand scheme of things, is going to get maybe a couple $100 for sponsorship, or at least that's what a sponsorship would offer when my channel is actually doing good and sort of this point in time that I'm referencing. Right now, I definitely wouldn't be getting that because I'm not getting the same views that I used to. A skin gambling sponsorship, however, instead of a couple $100, would be offering you a couple $1,000. And if it was a very sort of shady skin gambling website, it might be a little bit more than that even. Crypto sponsorships are much the same. They're going to offer you a couple $1,000, whereas a normal advertisement might offer you a couple $100. The reason that these sites pay so much more is because when people are converted over to these sites, they tend to spend a lot more. This is just how content on the internet works, by the way. If instead of making gaming videos, I made real estate videos, I would be making probably 2 to 5x more than I do right now. That's because people who are interested in real estate tend to have more money than you lot. That's not really a dig at you. It's just saying that most of us here cannot be buying houses by the dozen. With that in mind, the reason that these sponsorships for skin gambling websites pay out so much more is because the skin gambling websites make a lot more per conversion. This is because people tend to gamble a lot more, spend a lot more on gambling, get more addicted to gambling, and pile a lot more money into it than they would something like a HelloFresh sponsorship. Sure, you might be a 400-pound land whale, but you still have limits. So because you can spend a lot more gambling than you can on a lot of other things, gambling websites and skin gambling websites are willing to pay a lot more because those conversions are just worth more to them. This is the same reason that Vegas gives out so much free stuff. If you ever go to Vegas, it's spectacular how much free stuff you get. My first time in Vegas, I was going to the club drinking for free. The entry was free. I had all these free drink coupons that were given to me by the hotel. I had free parking. The hotel room was discounted. Even the flights were a little bit less. That's probably because I went during Christmas because I'm a complete degenerate. But yeah, I went to Vegas and I spent way less money than I expected to because I didn't want to do much gambling. I wanted to see what Vegas was, experience the clubs, experience the nightlife and all that. And it turns out that is all discounted because they're hoping that you're going to go there because of the discounts and end up spending a lot more gambling. Me, I didn't end up doing that. I like gambling. I don't find anything wrong with gambling morally. I just got a bunch of free chips because they wanted to draw me in, and it turns out I'm a cheap ass, and I won a lot of money off those free chips and walked away because it was a lot of money and I didn't want to lose it. A lot of people don't really do that. They don't think like, I don't want to lose this money. They just think, hey, I just won some money. I want to keep winning, and they keep spending money trying to win more and more and more. And then when you're in the hole, they keep spending more money to try and get out of that hole because they don't want to face their loved ones and say, hey, I just lost $10,000 gambling, because they feel like a fool. So they're going to spend $20,000 trying to get that loss up to zero, or maybe 10 or 20 bucks. So they can say, hey, I only lost a little bit gambling, or I didn't really make anything, but we broke even. You don't want to tell people you lost a lot of money gambling. Me, like, even when I go out, if I go out gambling, I say I'm going to lose $100. I lose $100. When people ask me how I did, I feel shame saying I lost $100. That shame makes me want to go get another $100 and keep going. But I know that I'm probably going to lose $200, and I'm just going to feel double the shame, which is not worth it. And I already told people I was going to lose 100. So there's no shame in that, but just mentally I feel that. And I am a very old man. I shit my pants regularly. That's how old I am. But no, really, like, someone with a pretty fully developed frontal cortex, or at least developed to the full extent of its ability, is feeling that pull that someone younger than me with a frontal cortex that still has potential is going to be a lot more. What Twitch decided to do is they said no more skin gambling. The reason they're not doing it is because it's something that is very unregulated. They don't have any sort of age checks. They don't care how old you are. They don't care if it's a 10-year-old going into gamble or a 100-year-old. They're going to take their money all the same. And let's face it, the 100-year-old probably does have a little bit more of a diminished mental capacity than the 10-year-old. But still, these sites don't care. Maybe the owners do. Maybe the owners have a conscience. Maybe they're willing to give money back to kids if they lost it. But a lot of the times that's not the case. If you lose your money to this site, it doesn't matter how old you are. And even worse, if you win on some of these sites, that's when they ask you how old you are. So maybe you made a big win. Maybe you made a big play. Maybe you got $25,000. You put in 20, you got 25. You got that big dopamine hit and you say, I'm taking my money. Then the site might hit you up and say, hey, I need some proof to see how old you are. And if you're 10, they might just take your money, it vanishes, and they say, well, we'll make you even again. We'll make you whole again, but you should never have been gambling in the first place, so you don't get these winnings. That would be teaching you a bad lesson. So yeah, to make a long story that's already too long short, a lot of these sites are very scummy. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. And there's no regulation. There's no one checking. There's no one telling you which sites are good, which sites aren't good, which sites actually care about their users, which sites will actually pay out, and which sites will actually check what age you are. And because of this, Twitch said no more skin gambling. Now what we've got to do is we've got to flip the coin and talk about the other side of it. That would be the streamers, the people who took these sponsorships initially. Say what you will about them, but I don't think this is completely on them, right? Like, it is a lot of money that you can get offered. And to turn that amount of money down, that's hard to do. In my case, it wasn't that hard to do. I looked into it. I didn't think the money was worth it, and that was that. The amount of money to me wasn't some sort of crazy offer. It wasn't something that would change my life. It wasn't something that would even change my bank account. You know, it would be added in there with all the rest, and that would be that. For some people, though, it is life-changing money. For some people, this feels like they're shot out. If I was in a situation where I felt like taking a skin gambling sponsorship was the difference between being able to go full-time, being able to pursue my dreams, being able to do what I want, and being stuck in a 9-to-5, the situation might have been different. Maybe I would have taken that deal. And there's a lot of streamers who were in that position and they took the sponsorships. And sure, maybe you can say you shouldn't have done that. But if we were in that position, if I was in that position, there's a really good chance I would have done it. So what about these people? We've like they've sort of been thrown to the side, right? Like, this is where I think Twitch made a mistake. Twitch said nothing as these sponsorships flooded multiple segments of gaming, multiple segments of sort of Twitch in general. And now all of a sudden they want to yank the rug out from under people. And that's not fair either. They need to protect their viewers, but they also need to protect the streamers. It's not fair for someone to have an income that they think they can count on and then suddenly have it just disappear overnight. The big streamers, the big people who make the headlines, they're taking huge deals from these sites and they're making a ton of money. But a lot of people aren't like that. They're taking a deal that might be making them a couple $1,000s a month. And that's enough for them to get by. That's enough for them to comfortably know that they can keep doing what they believe in, their passion, day in and day out, rather than take a 9 to 5. But with this latest announcement, they're going to be left scrambling because what do you do? What do they do? What can you do? If all of a sudden a couple $1,000s disappears from your revenue every month, can you survive? My gut reaction to this news was this was a huge W. It was a win. I was glad to see this sort of scummy practice being cleaned up. But then when I think about it a little bit more, it does suck for a lot of these people who didn't think things through or thought that their deals were legitimate or just they were following their dream and they got a little caught up in it. It sucks that all of a sudden they get the rug pulled out from under them. I think that Twitch needed to do this. I think that YouTube needs to do this. I think a lot of sites need to do this. But there's got to be a better way.